Hello Sagittarius, welcome to your Quantum Tarot reading with Louise. This is a brand new tarot channel. I'm giving away a free personal tarot reading which will be 30 to 40 minutes long. It will be sent to you via a personal link via YouTube to one of my first 50 subscribers. So if you would like to win a free tarot reading from me, please do subscribe to the channel and support me in growing this channel as quickly as possible. This will be a career and finance reading. I'll be using my own tarot cards, which I have personally designed and printed, so you will not find any other tarot readers reading from these quantum tarot cards. There'll be 3 columns that I pull out. The first column will be a potential challenge that you're facing. The second column will be some potential solutions to that challenge, and the third column will be some potential outcomes should you follow the solutions provided. Bearing in mind this is not a prediction, so you are in control of your destiny, and that's based on the decisions and the actions that you take today. So let's see what we have as a challenge for you at the moment in life, in work and career. We have the Eternal Archive, the Akashic Records. The Akashic Records is like all the information that's contained within the quantum field. It's a spiritual terminology that you'll find in the spiritual community, but it's actually rooted in science. All information is contained within a proton, and there's infinite protons because there's infinite atoms. So it links to the holographic universe theory in the sense of the whole is contained within the part. So you're feeling at the moment like you don't have access, because this is coming in your challenge column. So you don't have access to a piece of information that you would like. You feel like something's being withheld from you, either intentionally or unintentionally by somebody else, or even it could be that there isn't a particular person involved, but you just feel a lack of access to some information, or an opportunity, like an opportunity has escaped you, or it could be a limiting belief that you have as well, actually, around your own success and your own worth from a financial point of view, because your financial income is a mirror of your own self-worth. You know, it's a response to the thoughts that we have. So if we're having low income thoughts like fear of survival, if we're responding and reacting to life and we're operating through the lens of having to survive financially, because we're putting those thoughts into the quantum field is then providing us with situations to match what we believe, because that's how quantum physics works, that's how reality works. So I feel like there's a limiting belief that you may have that's stopping you from connecting to an outcome that you'd like to achieve. Then we have the Zeno effect. The Zeno effect describes how our minds struggle to experience the present moment. We perceive motion, time and transformation only afterwards. So it's basically a quantum concept of being stuck in time. We're usually either stuck in the past or stuck in the future. If we're stuck in the past, we can feel feelings like regret or remorse or sadness or loss or grief. If we're stuck in the future, we might feel emotions like anxiety and worry and fear. Right. So, and typically most people live in most of those emotions quite regularly. So what emotion or what thought are you having at the moment that's keeping you stuck in time? It's either keeping you stuck in a regret or something about the past that's happened and you wish it didn't happen, or you wish you could change it, or you're frustrated that thing happened. it wasn't fair, whatever the situation was, or it could be a projection of the future, like a lack of control of a future outcome. You want the certainty now, you want to know now what that outcome will be, but you don't have the information yet. You know, that time for that reality to come into fruition, that time hasn't come yet. So there's a sense of you feeling uncomfortable with the present moment, and yes, I mean, acceptance is the first stage there of being comfortable. So being comfortable of the unknown, being comfortable with feeling uncomfortable, accepting the fact that you don't have all the answers yet, accepting the fact that it's okay to feel anxious, and sitting with the anxiety rather than trying to force an outcome that the quantum field is not ready to present to you yet. Two of Swords, indecision, duality, blocked perception. So again, there's a decision that you want to make, because the Two of Swords is about uncertainty, which exactly feeds into what I've just explained. But it can typically be more of an uncertainty from a dualistic point of view. So there's a decision that you need to make, whether to go left or right, or whether to take the deal or not take the deal, or take the promotion or not take the promotion. Do you hire candidate A or do you hire candidate B? So there's a dualistic element to this decision, and you don't feel like you have enough information yet to make that decision, and that's causing you some frustration because you want to make the decision now, because you're a Sagittarius and you know you've got that fire in you. You want to move forward quickly like fire and get straight to the point, straight to the outcome, straight to the part of the process that can move you forwards. So how can we overcome this discomfort with the present moment? I would say is a good summary of how to summarize this challenge that you're facing. Well, you have the light keeper in your solution column. Be the beacon. Your light is not to be seen, it is to be shared. Well, I think it's to be seen and shared. So you're here for more than your own journey. You are the light in the light of others. Shine with integrity. Shine with love. Even in darkness, your light has meaning. Never underestimate the light you carry. The world is brighter because you are in it. You are in the position that you're in your job role, in your life, wherever you have a sense of purpose, authority, control. You are there for a reason. It's not just accidental that you've ended up in this particular line of work, or in this particular job role, or in this particular company, or in this particular team that you're in, or in this particular financial situation that you're in. It's the challenge now, and the solution is finding the opportunity in the uncertainty. So from a quantum physics point of view, the whole of the quantum realm exists in what's called superposition. Superposition is where there's infinite timelines, infinite possibilities of realities. You could think of it as the multiverse theory as well. You know, every time we make a different choice, or the butterfly effect is also a good way to explain this. Every time we make a choice, that choice can then have a knock-on effect, and it could escalate into a whole completely different life. So for example, there's a film called Sliding Doors, which is a really good film to explain this concept, where Gwyneth Paltrow, I think that's her name, Gwyneth Paltrow, she in one version of her life she misses the train, and then in the other version of her life she gets on the train, but there's a split second difference, and in that split second it makes the difference of whether she gets on the train or not, because the doors are just closing and she just gets through in one version of her life and she doesn't on the other. And just that split second and that very, what you might think is quite insignificant detail in a person's life, as whether they get on a train, same train that they catch every day from work, completely changes the trajectory of her life, because she meets somebody on that train that then becomes, you know, a long-term romantic partner, and she goes on to have children, etc. So when we think a decision is a small decision, it's actually, no decision is ever a small decision, because typically it's linked to the next decision and the next action and the next belief system. So I would say beware, like, be conscious of what you might perceive as a small thought or an insignificant action. Bring light into every action, every thought, and raise the vibration of every thought and every action, because that will then take you onto a higher path, into a higher level of awareness, security, and give you more control. Not necessarily control, but it'll put you onto a higher timeline. As above, so below. This is often used in mythology, religion, spirituality, you know, this concept of as in heaven is that, you know, as in heaven is so here on earth. But from a quantum physics point of view, it's really about as in the subatomic realm, as in the realm of the quantum field, where everything exists as a potential but not a reality. So it's in the state of superposition, which means it hasn't formed reality yet. It's just infinite potential that we then collapse into reality depending on the decisions and choices that we make. So as above, so below is all about our reality externally reflecting what we have chosen internally. You know, the realm of the unseen, the realm of what you can't touch, what you can't feel, thoughts, feelings. So what are you collapsing into your reality? You know, as above, so below, as within, so without. The patterns mirror, the whole is one. So the pattern in your external environment mirrors the pattern in your internal environment. So in order for you to gain clarity in this situation that we've just discussed in the first column, you need to have some clarity and stability, and center yourself inwardly. And then what you'll find is then that'll shift your energy. You might not have the clarity to the answer, you might not have this certain situation just immediately solved, but you will find that you don't need it immediately solved anymore, and that you'll actually find peace with that, and other options will open up for you in terms of like potential outcomes that you maybe haven't thought of before. Right, let's pull one more card for your solution column. We have the Queen of Wands. Oh, that is so you, Sagittarius. This is you. This is you in your core being. So the Wands is the fire sign. The Sagittarius is a fire sign. Confidence, warmth, creativity, and inner fire. That's you, Sagittarius. So in terms of solutions, stepping back into your authentic self, stepping back into your power as a fire sign, stepping into your creativity. Fire signs have got immense creativity, passion, charisma, people skills, ability to lead through inspiration and vision. You know, you might not always have all the details. You're a big picture thinker, you're a philosophist, you like to question the big questions of life. And I think that's a good solution here as well, is look at the bigger picture here. Instead of getting drawn into this situation of being uncertain about a particular scenario in your life, look at the bigger picture, zoom out, look at your life as a whole, and I'm getting a gratitude list coming in here. Like, start writing out all the amazing things about your life. It could even be the fact that you're healthy, because you know we take this for granted every day, people that are healthy. There's so many people out there that can't walk, that are in hospital, that are in a wheelchair, and you know you might be one of those people listening to this as well. And if that's the case, what else do you have that somebody else doesn't have? You might have a really nice house, a really loving family. You know, there's always something that we have that not everybody else has, and that we can be grateful for. And when we start to tap into that, our energetic alignment shifts into a state of abundance, and like attracts like, right? So then we start to feed into the quantum field, that energetic state, and then we get mirrored situations back that match that. So I would say, as a summary for your solutions, step into your authentic self, see the bigger picture, and find acceptance with the unknown. Like, be comfortable with the state of superposition, which means that reality hasn't formed yet. If you do that, Sagittarius, an outcome for you would be the cosmic web. All is connected. Empathy and unity, aligned action, harmony with all of life. So, you are a thread in the infinite weave, what you think you send. Then you have the black hole card. The black hole is where gravity rewrites the rules. It's where everything basically gets pulled into a black hole. All information gets pulled into a black hole, and it's basically like a point of singularity where all information gets pulled in and recalibrated before it then gets pushed back out through the quantum field in a new updated way. Just like computer software updates, the quantum field constantly updates the information. So we send information in, the quantum field recalibrates the information, updates, and then feeds it back through to us. So it's a constant feedback loop. So an outcome for you, based on the cards that you have, and you have the Ten of Pentacles here as well. Amazing, amazing outcome card. It's actually one of the best cards in the tarot deck, along with the Sun card. Wealth, legacy, completion, and long-term security. So Ten of Pentacles, and Cosmic Web and the Black Hole, you're going to be updating your view of life, of yourself. It's like you're having a software update, essentially. And once you've had that update, just like if you think of computer updates, once we've gone to, let's say Apple iPhone version 10, we don't go back to version 6 after that, do we? You tend to move upwards. So you go to version 10, then 11, then 12. You don't regress backwards. And that's what I see happening for you. That you're having an upgrade, and that's going to lead to long-term security for you. I feel that you're a corporate business person. You're very focused on success. You're very good in your work because you have this perpetual drive to just keep going and moving forward. But that's the fire in you. Fire signs are so good in the corporate world, in the world of business and success, because to be successful, you have to have that fire. You have to have the desire to want to keep moving forwards, and that passion and that determination, and that is a fire sign. So I think with the black hole card here as well, you will be you'll be able to, when you take a step back more, you'll be able to start seeing the recycling, if you like, or the circular rotation of yourself and your patterns, your behaviours. You'll basically, in a nutshell, you become more self-aware, and through that self-awareness, it's going to put you in a much more senior position, a much more a much higher position in terms of seniority, because when you're aware of yourself, a lot of the struggles that have held you back internally with worries and fears and anxieties and thinking that, oh, did I say the wrong thing in the meeting, worried about the past, like I said at the beginning of the reading, worrying about, did I say this wrong in the meeting, or should I have done that, or should I have sent that email, or worrying about what someone's response will be to the email. Once you start to see that, that's going to free up so much of your energy. Once you can go, right, I'm not feeding that anymore. And then with that extra energy, you're going to really step into a more productive state of being, which is going to really accelerate your career growth, because your output is going to increase so much. And then the team who you lead, and if you don't at the moment, I see you definitely will be very soon, their productivity is also going to be really high with your leadership, because what you learn, you will be able to see in your team and also help them through that same journey so that they can increase their productivity too. So with that being said, Sagittarius, I think this is a really exciting time for you in your career right now. Your career growth, your financial growth, your personal growth, your personal and professional growth, your spiritual growth, it's all going in the right direction. So I think just keep doing what you're doing. And this card wants to speak. One final card for you. Own your path. Take responsibility for your journey, making choices that align with your true self and purpose. So I'll leave you on that card. Please like, share and subscribe for your chance to win a free reading from myself, and I shall see you next time.